So welcome. Welcome to this workshop, this program of the University of Arkansas Small Business and Technology Development Center. We're exceedingly pleased to be able to bring you these educational programs to help support small businesses. Please be advised that we will be recording this conversation for ASB TDC education purposes. You will be able to access these recordings and all of our past workshops and webinars at our website, and we will be posting the link in the chat throughout the program. So you'll be able to find us 1,000 different ways. I will introduce Mailena momentarily. Let's say that. But first, I'd like to introduce us and tell you a little bit about ASB TDC. I'm Amy Robinson, and I'm a specialty consultant with the Small Business Center. And with me is my fellow consultant and facilitator, Chris Kay. Say hi, Chris.
Hello.
If you don't know about the Small Business Development Center, it is a one-stop shop for startups and existing small businesses. We are associated with the University of Arkansas and affiliated with the SBA and statewide ASB TDC, as well as a national network of more than 1,000 small business centers, which means you can go anywhere in the country and find a small business center there. Locally, we offer complimentary one-on-one consulting, and that includes business planning, market analysis, financial projections, and more, as well as programs like this one, where we cover relevant topics for business owners. And if you're not already a client, we would very much encourage you to visit us at sbtdc.uark.edu. Again, we'll be posting all of those links momentarily. Love to turn it over to Chris. Tell us a little bit about how all of this is going to work today.
Okay, great. Well, today, just to let you know, we're providing you Canva 101, which is part of a series that Mailena Urso is going to be providing us this month. So there's going to be a lot of information, a lot of good facts and stuff about Canva. I'm going to be learning a lot because I have never used it before either. So I'm really excited about this. But we really do love this format because it allows you the opportunity to ask experts questions, work through whatever challenges you have, and any information that you are looking for. But this is an interactive workshop, so you're encouraged to ask questions as we go along, but please keep yourself on mute until you have a question, and then you can unmute yourself. Amy and I will be watching the chat box very, very closely. So if you have any questions, please put those in the chat box and we will get to those as soon as possible. And we'll also leave time at the end for a Q&A session. But Amy, I'll turn it back over to you.
Sure. Well, we want to welcome Mailena. Mailena happens to be one of our ASB TDC consultants, but she is also, I don't know how she does it all, but also a partner in Concord Adams and a proprietor owner of Big Box Karaoke. And she's going to tell you a little bit about herself momentarily. But while we're getting to know Mailena, we would love to get to know you. So if you will please post in the chat and let us know what industry you're in and maybe what questions you came with today or why you're here. We would love to give Mailena a little bit of context so that she can kind of speak to you or your industry specifically as she's going forward. And again, make sure that you get your questions in there or let us know when you're ready to ask a question. So now, without further hesitation, we're going to turn it over to you, Mailena.
Hi, Mailena.
Hey, everybody. I realized I was going to see like everybody on this
workshop. Yes, we love it.
I would love to know when you're in the chat if you have any Canva experience. If you have zero, then that is okay because that's why we're here today. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, can you see that?
Perfect. Yes, perfect.
Okay. Okay, so my name is Mailena Urso. I am here today. This presentation is going to be a Canva 101 training. And my goal is we leave today and you feel inspired, encouraged, and empowered to go and create beautiful designs. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself because I think that it will be, you'll be able to relate with me or I can relate with you a little bit. So I'm a marketer and I have worked in large corporate settings. I have worked in a lot of startup environments. I worked at a company based in Rogers called Collective Bias, and they're an influencer marketing company. I was hired on as the 11th employee there with some marketing experience. It was very startup mode, so I had to wear multiple hats. At the time, I was hired on as an account executive, so helping project manage. But it quickly needed some marketing help and strategy. And at the time, we didn't need that yet. So they asked me, because I came in with 5 years of marketing experience, to help lead the marketing team, to help create a strategy and all of that. So I did that, and I was there for about 6.5 years. And I started the team off with 3 people, grew it to 15 people, and a chunk of those people were designers. So I had really great designers on my team to help create some beautiful graphics for our content marketing efforts. So that was more of a kind of business to business marketing setting, where I was trying to market this influencer marketing agency to attract clients to use our services. I moved into the B2C world, the business to consumer world, working for a fashion brand called Lauren James. Some of you may have heard of that brand. They're based here in Fayetteville, and I wanted to get that B2C e-commerce experience. So I went over there, and again, I had a team that were really talented individuals and professionals, and some of them were designers. So definitely got to lean on them for that design. And I tell you all this because I definitely am not a designer, but I am a marketer. I have a great design eye, and I can kind of lead design teams. Throughout my marketing career, I also had a dream with my husband to create a karaoke business. We spent some time in Japan, and we fell in love with how they karaoke there. And if you've never experienced it, you can karaoke on a traditional stage in front of a whole bunch of strangers. Not a lot of people like to do that. So in Japan and all over Asia, a common way to karaoke is in a private room with just your friends and family. And that was where we were introduced to that style of karaoke. We loved it so much that we wanted to bring it to the States. We tried to open it up in Chicago, which is where we were living at the time. It didn't work out. Recession time. We were also very young. We had no money, and moved back to Arkansas, which is where we're from. Tried to start it in 2015. That didn't work out. And then in 2018, we passed the building that we're located in now in May of 2018. And in December of 2018, we opened Big Box Karaoke, which is in Fayetteville. And it was sort of from that point on where I was like, oh, where's my team of people that I used to have to do all these marketing things that I know I need to do? And I didn't have that. And you all know that as a small business owner, you have to be really scrappy with your time and with your money. And so we definitely had to do that. And so I had heard of this Canva product, and I'm like, let me just open it up and see what I can do. And it's amazing. So I'm definitely a Canva lover. Obviously 2020 was just a horrible year for everyone. Big Box Karaoke was very impacted, and it was at that time when Concord Adams actually kind of officially launched. We needed to diversify income. I needed to figure that out. I had this marketing background. We sort of put all our eggs in one basket at Big Box Karaoke at the end of 2019, and then the pandemic hit, and then Concord Adams sort of took off. And so that is, we build websites, branding, and marketing for small to mid-sized businesses. But I'm not a designer. So that is the main point of my story, is that I have all this experience, but I'm not a designer, but I know marketing is important. And so today we're going to talk about why good design is important, why it's a challenge. I'm going to introduce you to Canva. We're going to actually take a tour around Canva. I'm going to show you how to create a couple of designs.
And Mailena, I don't mean to interrupt, but we've got a lot of newbies on there. I think they're about like I am, where I've seen it. Some of them have not even seen it, didn't know what it was before today. So you're going to have to really talk to me.
101. Yeah.
101 is right.
101. Yeah.
So we're going to keep it as 101. So, okay, well, let's get started. So why is good design important? I think we all sort of know this answer. We live in this digital world where I think I read a stat the other day that on average we spend like 3.5, almost 4 hours a day on screens, mainly on our phone. And so this digital world that we live in is really important. And it's with COVID, people are spending even more time on screens. And so um, they're seeing a lot of stuff, and you want to make sure that whatever you're showing your audience, that it's standing out and that it's clean and that it has good design, and people will remember you. It also, good design builds trust. If you've ever went to a website or even somebody's social media page, and like the first thing you see are images, and so, or graphics, and you build trust by having that good design. A lot of times the first place somebody goes when they hear about your business is either to your website or maybe to your Instagram page or Facebook page. And so it's the first impression. So think about design as your first impression. Like what is that impression going to be when they go to your website or to your Instagram or to your Facebook? And hopefully you're creating that first impression, but it's a lasting impression and it's creating a memorable experience with your brand. I'm going to move on. So what's the problem? Why is good design so hard? Well, for small business owners, like all of us, we don't have time to spend on good design because we don't have the skills to do it. We don't have time to learn it. If you've ever, the kind of normal editing design software like Adobe Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, Adobe Photoshop, the ones that we hear about, are really hard to learn. And yeah, I know how to make my way around it, but it was going to take too long to learn those programs to get to where I got with Canva. And then the resources, we have limited resources or we have no resources to budget to spend with a professional graphic designer. I will say, Concord Adams, we have designers, and there is a time and place to spend money on that service for sure. Like if you need a custom illustration, or we did a little sake passport at Big Box Karaoke, and that was something I was not going to try to design on my own because it was going to be printed, and we wanted it to be really custom. And so I did hire a designer for that project. So, but you don't want to hire a designer, or you may not want to hire a designer to create all the social graphics that you need to be engaged on social media like you should be. So that would be expensive. So I understand, like I told you in my story, in my introduction, I had all of these teams of people that I got to lean on in my corporate background, which was awesome. But as a small business owner, you have to kind of pick up the slack where it's needed. And sometimes that's not behind a computer. Sometimes it's in a kitchen. That is me in our kitchen. And I will be there later today. So that's our life, right? So Canva, introducing you to Canva. Canva, I use it every single day for everything that I do. So why Canva? Because it's free is the number one thing. They do have a paid option, but you can do so much on the free account. You do not have to have any design experience at all. And it saves so much time. It's so easy to learn, and it's really easy to use. Just a little background on Canva. Canva was founded by an Australian woman who was 19 years old at the time. She was on her yearbook club maybe, and she was learning that no one knew how to design pages for the yearbook. And so she knew some Adobe Suite programs, and she was trying to teach her peers how to use it, but it was taking too much time. And so she's like, I need to create something that is easy to use and easy to learn so we can create a beautiful yearbook for our school. And so she worked with some other people to develop this software and initially marketed it to the yearbook, high school yearbook teams. And so it was a yearbook design software. She found an investor in California, and they quickly grew it to what we know today. And now it's worth $3.2 billion. It's so crazy. But that was back in, I think, like 2007 or something like that. So it's been around for a little bit. So here's some examples of some graphics I've done in Canva for Big Box Karaoke. I wanted to show you examples because I want to show you that it's doable and you can create these beautiful graphics. What you see is on the left-hand side of the screen are some examples of social media graphics that I've created. So all of the graphics that have text on it, I've created in Canva, and so are the graphics on the right. I use these graphics on social media, in my email marketing, and also on my website. The middle graphics are our current menus that we have today at the restaurant. Whenever we started Big Box, I hired a designer to create a menu, to create our menu design. And I just did not have time for it. And it was something I wanted to have somebody else who could do it better than me do it. We had that menu up until, I feel like, December of last year. We needed to make an update. It was the pandemic. We're in the pandemic, and I didn't have money to spend on menu design. So I'm like, I just got to create this myself. And menu is a template that Canva has. And so I'm going to show you how to do all this in Canva. Maybe not create a menu, but I'll show you a menu template. They have all these different templates that other designers have created that you can start from and customize to make it your own branding. So I hope that when you see this screen, you see that it's all sort of cohesive and consistent, and it's coming from the same company. So I'm going to move on. So today we're going to go through Canva. I'm going to give you a tour, but the basics of Canva is you got to choose the purpose. Like what are you designing for? Are you designing an Instagram post? Are you designing a Facebook post? Are you designing a menu? You choose a template, and then you can customize that template so it's more with your branding. It's using your photos if you have photos, all of that. And then you can download it straight from Canva and then share it on whatever channel you want to share it on. So let's take a tour. And just give me a moment. Okay.
You've got a lot of people talking about social media and web design. I know in this tour, you're probably going to go through all the templates that are available. I love that you showed menus, because print is definitely something that is not as common now, but you can definitely do in there. You know, and as an entrepreneur, maybe your resume might cross your mind every once in a while, and they do have templates for things like that. So I love that there's so many different applications that have been popping up. That's great.
Yeah.
And if there's anybody out there, if you have other applications other than social media that you're using it for, definitely throw it in there, just because it really is a broad spectrum of uses.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, so if you haven't already, I'm just going to start at the very start of creating an account with Canva. So you have to create an account with Canva. It is free. So you'll just go to canva.com, and this is what it will look like when you get there. And I already have an account, but if you don't, you'll just go to sign up, and you can sign up with Google, with Facebook, or just with your email. I'm just going to log in, and hopefully I can remember my password. And when you log in, if you're logging in for the first time, it'll probably give you like a tour that you can take yourself, or you can X out of it because you're taking my tour. But so this is what it looks like. This is your dashboard. You can kind of start from anywhere. I'm going to kind of just give you a tour of all of the places you can go. So templates. Templates is where you'll live, because this is where you'll sort of start from. So you can see all the different templates, and these are not even all of them. But if you go to social media templates, you'll see Instagram story templates, posts, Facebook posts, all of it. They break it out into personal, where there's the resumes right there. You can build invitations. I've made so many invitations for my kids' birthday parties in here. Presentations, I built this presentation in Canva. And logos, if you want to try your hand at a logo, you can. I've built a logo in here before for like a charity type event that we had at Big Box. Business cards, invoices, I've created invoices in here before. Marketing, flyers, brochures, all of the things. If you're a teacher or in education, you can create lesson plans. So they have so many templates. On the left here, when you start creating designs, you'll go to all your designs and they'll all be populated here. There is a way you can organize your designs. I'm not the most organized person, so I'm not going to show you what mine actually looks like. You can share designs with people if you want to collaborate. You can also add your brand kit, which this is where they'll get you with that leveling up to the pro account. But with the free account, you can add 3 colors. So if you have brand colors, you can put them here so that they are automatically populated into the editor, which I'll show you in just a minute. And then you can also add fonts with the free account. They have tons of fonts that you can choose from if you don't have a brand font. If you do have a brand font and it's within Canva, then you can select that. With the pro account, if you have a custom font, you can upload that here. And so I'm just going to start back at templates, and I'm going to go to Instagram posts. Let me go back real fast. So you can start at templates. You can also start right here. Sorry, my computer's going to be slow now. You can go to create a design, and you can go to whatever here. You can have a custom size, or you can search. Maybe you're not seeing it, and maybe it's a LinkedIn something banner that you want to do. So we're going to do Instagram post. So the great thing about these templates is they already come in the size that you need for these channels. So the Instagram post is already in the size that Instagram prefers for Instagram posts. So this is what it looks like. This is a blank template. You don't see anything here, but if you go here to the left, you'll kind of see some templates that they recommend for you. You can just scroll down and see what they have. They have just different categories based on probably an algorithm that they're learning about what people are designing right now. So I'm going to select one in just a minute. I'm going to go down this to kind of show you what all of these are. Uploads. This is where you'll drag and drop any files that you want to add to your template or to your design. So your logo, any photos, things like that. I'll show you that in just a minute. The other cool thing about Canva is they have a lot of free photos that you can use. Not all of us have photography done at our businesses, and so they have really great stock photography that you can use for free. Not all of these photos are free, and you'll see it if you scroll over. You'll see free on the ones that are free. You'll see a crown on, let's see if I can see it. Well, a lot of these are free, maybe because I have my filter turned on. No. Well, anyway, you'll see a little crown at the bottom right if it's not a free photo, but you don't have to. Oh, they're all free. you don't have to pay for a pro account to use a pro image. It is usually just $1. So you can just pay $1 to use the image, which I've done.
We have a couple of questions about other applications that maybe just didn't show up in the templates. One is about ebooks, and the other is about editing videos. So what about, have you come across any ebook templates that could be useful?
Let's just look. I've not personally, but ebook cover. I don't know what the design, but there's an ebook cover, and there's, see, it gives you all of the templates and designs that people have created for covers as a starting point, and you're able to edit these. There's that, and then videos. There is video functionality within Canva. I honestly have never used it, but they have, I've used some animation done, which we'll cover in 102 for some social media, but it looks like there is some video, and I can include that in 102 too.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, please continue to ask your questions, even the more advanced questions, because Mailena is building the 102 version of this. So that would be fantastic. So definitely keep those up.
Yeah. So, but if you don't see a template or something that you're trying to create, I would just use this search bar here and just put it in and see if they have it. I'm going to go back to Instagram post. And I'm going to go to blank. And so we went to photos. The elements is little graphics like illustration. So here's that pro, see that crown right there? That means that costs money to use. And you can pay for a pro account, or you can pay $1 just to use it. But these have graphics. See, there's some animated graphics if you want some animation in your social media graphic. There's a whole bunch of things. And if you're not finding what you're looking for, like sometimes I'm looking for microphones. I'll type in that and see what type of microphones they have. Text, that's where you kind of see some ideas for texts and fonts. Audio, if you want to add audio, I've never done that before, but looks like they have some audio. That
you haven't done any audio of somebody singing from
that would be
painful.
That's why you have private rooms.
Exactly.
So here's some video stuff here, and backgrounds, all that folders. So the main things you'll use is this uploads, photos, elements, and text. So I'm going to go back to templates. And I'm just going to create a graphic. And if you guys have any questions, please speak up. I'm going to create a graphic. We're going to be doing happy hour again. And so I'm going to show you how I would create a happy hour graphic. And I know I want to post it on Instagram. So I already have my Instagram size here. And I'm just going to type in happy hour and see what sort of inspires me. We use a lot of photos at Big Box Karaoke. So I know that I want a template that showcases a photo instead of like an illustration. So I'm going to choose this one. So you just click on it and you can see that there's this Canva watermark here, and it's a completed graphic, but obviously this doesn't go with my business. So I'm going to make it sort of my own. And that we don't do wine and bread. So we have some cocktail photos, but I wanted to show you how to create a graphic using all of the free stuff in Canva in case you don't have a great photo of whatever you're trying to promote. So
free stuff, Mailena, we do have a question about the charge. So if you don't have Pro and you do want to pay for it and it's $1, Cynthia's asking, are the charges one time or ongoing as long as you use it? So I think that that's a good question.
Yeah. So if you don't want to pay for Pro, which gives you 100% access to using all of these photos and graphics and all that, then you would just pay for the things that you want to use. So like if I wanted to use one of these templates and it was saying pay the dollar, then I would pay the dollar, and that would be the one-time charge. If I wanted the Pro account, and no, you don't have to keep paying the dollar. You just pay the dollar, and that gives you.
So let's just say that you used this Mondays 5 to 8 p.m. at Winos. Wow, that's a great name. And then you did a different date. So let's just say you changed it. So you create a new one. If you just edited this one, then you wouldn't pay the $1. But if you go in and get it a second time, then you would pay the $1. So you can either go in and edit and there's also a feature where you can copy this in there, like you could copy and do another one. So would you have to pay any more if you did? So if you copied it within there, you wouldn't have to pay again. But if you went outside of it and created a whole new file, then they probably would charge you again. Is that what that sounds like?
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think that it's the one-time fee to use the image in this file.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Um,
A more technical question is coming up real quick about policy that says that you have to change the images and customize them to sell a product with it. Hearing about TikTok, that you can't use the graphics as they are if you're creating a product to sell. Is that being understood correctly? So it's definitely about images, and I would imagine that it's with any other images that you bring in, Unsplash or otherwise. Is there any policies that you're aware of that cross that line?
I don't think so. I've never Canva. If there is, then Canva would alert you.
Alert you.
Probably in the download phase, but yeah, I'm not aware of any sort of extra permission that you have to get to use anything within Canva on whatever channel that you're wanting to promote it on. As long as you're, like this, I'm not going to use this watermarked graphic. I would pay for that permission to use that, and then that gives me that permission. So did that answer the question?
I think so. And if it doesn't, just expand on the question or let us know. And you can do that to the group, or you can message me or Chris privately, and we'll investigate that for you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm going to just go in here and I'm going to find a cocktail photo that sort of represents my restaurant. It doesn't that does not look like our bar. We don't have glasses like that. But this looks, I think this one kind of is the best one, but you can see there's these pro level images that I would have to pay for. So I literally am going to drag it. I'm going to click on it, drag it, and drop it, and it puts it in there perfectly. I'm going to show you. So there's that way, or you can just click on the image, but it puts it there. But then I would have to like stretch it and make it the right size. So Canva is really great. Like if I just kind of hold it, I can hold it and move it to kind of see what it looks like. And I'm going to just drop it there, and that looks awesome. I'm going to change this text. So if you've worked in like any sort of editor on your website, or even just like in PowerPoint, things like that, it works the same way. You just click in the text box, and I'm going to delete this text and write out happy hour. And I'm going to, maybe I don't like that font type. And my brand font, this is not my brand font, but I'm going to choose one. This Archival Black is close to a brand font that we have. So I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to make it smaller. So here's how you can decrease or increase the font. You can also increase or decrease the spacing between the letters and the lines, and that would go right here. So spacing, you can go letter spacing, so I can make it wider. I like it there, and I can increase that space or decrease that space between happy and hour. So there's increasing it, there's decreasing it. It's going to keep it about right there. And then I'm going to change this to Monday through, or no, we're not open Monday. Wednesday through Friday, 4:30 to 6:30, and all day Sunday. And I'm going to make that into a different font. And I'm going to use Archival Narrow. And I'm going to make it bold. And I'm going to maybe just put it down here so we can see it a little bit better. Now I kind of want my logo on it because I want people to know that this is Big Box Karaoke talking. So how do I get my logo on there? So I'm going to have to decrease my screen. So you can just keep it on the screen here. Go to your files on your computer. I'm going to pick this one, and you can just drag it over, and it drops it into your upload file there. And it should be downloading. Where'd it go? There it is. So there it is right there. And now I'm going to, again, if you just click and drag it, it'll sort of like start making it part of the image, or I can just put it on and make it the size I want it to be. There's my image. And when I'm done, I can download it. And so you would click download. You would click the file type that you want it to download as. So PNG, JPEG, PDF, all of it. I'm just going to create a PNG and push download.
With PNGs and JPEGs, when it comes to social media or print or any of those others, what matters? Which is it more for whatever you choose, or are there different medias that have different purposes?
I think that PNGs and JPEGs are sort of the standard for all of the like Instagram and Facebook channels. PDFs are more for print. And if you didn't see, and this is what I had to do whenever I did my menu, is they have different PDF sizes and qualities. So there's the standard PDF. If I was going to download my presentation into a PDF, I would just do this PDF standard. But if I wanted to print something, I would go to PDF print, and you can also like add the crop marks and bleed for the printer so they can know like where to cut the print. So yeah, I would say, and they tell you here, PNGs are the suggested file type for an Instagram post because it's going to give you a high quality image. JPEGs are more for smaller size. But yeah, I would say PNG and JPEG you're really safe with. I'm just going to do one more graphic so you can see another style. And so it's going to be an Instagram post too. So I'm going to stay in this file and add a page here. And it just gives me a blank template. And I want to congratulate college graduates on our Instagram and social media this weekend because they're graduating. And so I'm gonna just start here again, like I did with happy hour, and go to congrats, and maybe something's gonna inspire me. This one looks cute and something that I think I can work with. I don't have an image of a photo of a graduate at Big Box Karaoke, or I would use a graphic that had a photo on the layout. And so I don't have that. So I'm going to use this one. I just click on it and the template adds it to that blank page there. This obviously is not a graduate graphic, so I'm going to customize it. I'm going to take out this emoji because I don't want that. I'm going to take out this party hat. And I'm going to say, hey, grads. I'm going to make it a little bit on brand for us. So one saying that we say is sing your heart out. And I want to put a heart here because heart, the word, is a little bit too much. So out, but I need my heart. So I'm going to go to elements, which is where you can find these illustrations that you can use. Put heart. And I'm not going to pay $1 for a heart. So I like that one fine. I'm just going to click on it and decrease the size a little bit and put it where I want it on the graphic. And I'm going to move this your over so we can see it. I'll show you something else too. To see how that heart is over the text. You can move the position of anything on your design here. First, I want to change the color of that heart because it's starting to look like a Valentine's Day card. So I'm just going to make it white. And I'm going to move that heart to the back of those words. So position is right up here. And I have the heart selected. So I'm going to move that backwards. And you can kind of see it's going behind the words. Now
Mailena, not to interrupt, but I'm kind of a keyboard shortcut person. Can you select the heart and then just hit the control arrow button or something to just move it gradually and have a little bit more control? You can do that like in PowerPoint and the Microsoft programs. I didn't know if you could do something like that in here.
You can definitely use the cursor to move it. The
arrow button.
I'm working it back. So let's see, command, and I don't think it's moving.
I think you can do it if you have it all selected. You can use the arrow buttons if you have arrow buttons as opposed to the space bar.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then like the micro up and down kind of thing. Yeah.
Or you can just, drag it if you know where you want
we
it.
We didn't grow up in the era of video game thingies.
You can tell how old we are now. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, there are, shortcuts. I use the Control A for, to select everything instead of highlighting it a lot. So Control A does that. And so, hey, Greg, sing your heart out.
Mailena, you can group things with control clicking it, like if you just wanted to move the whole thing together, is that right?
So let's say I want to move sing your heart out to the left a little bit, but I don't want to do.
Hey, Mailena, you got muted. Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to select sing, and then my computer is shift. So sing your out is the words that I selected. So you can see that all of those are selected, and I'm moving them to all of them to the left or the right or up and down. Right. The other cool thing about, let me just change this because we don't want to say that grads are raising the best kids. Sing your card out. You did it. Okay, so the other thing you can do is make sure things are aligned properly. So I want to make sure this is centered with the hey grads up here. So I will click on it And now I have the box, and you can see all these little purple lines on the screen. It just kind of shows you where that box is aligned with on the graphic. And when it's solid, can you see the solid pink vertical line? That shows that it is vertical on the actual graphic, the whole graphic. And if I want to make sure this is too, then I just did. It kind of pops it in there. And I'm going to change the colors. So let's make it like some University of Arkansas colors. So Canva will give you some just default colors right here. If you were to add your brand colors, like I said in the beginning, those would be right here. So it does save you some time. If you didn't get a chance to add those brand colors to the brand kit, then you can, and none of these are your colors, you can go to this plus sign under document colors. And this is sort of the rainbow wheel that you can kind of scroll on to find the color, and it shows you the color you're on right here. Or if you have color codes, you can just paste those right here and put them there. So I'm just going to go with that maroon red, and I'm going to click on your, and I think that's fine. And then out, maybe we'll make it a gray. And maybe I want my logo on there again. So I'm going to go back to upload and add that logo. Oh, I'm going to do one other thing because this yellow is kind of blinding. I'm going to click on the background, and maybe I like the yellow, but I want it to be a little more soft. So I'm just going to go back here and choose one that is more pleasing to my eye. So
Mailena, I just went on the University of Arkansas has a brand.uark.edu that you can actually look up the hex code for the approved brand colors. So yeah, you can do that. That's really cool. I didn't know you could do that.
Awesome. Yeah, most big brands have the brand guides on their website because they want you to be using it exactly how it says. Anyway, so that's my graphic. The last thing I want to show you is, let's say you were just spending some really great design time designing all the graphics for the week. That never happens for me. But let's say you do, and you're ready to download them. And instead of downloading them individually, you can download them all. So you can select all of them and download them all at the same time. Or maybe you just used this file to create a new one, but the happy hour one's old, you just want this one, so you can just download that. But if you download them all, it'll download as a zip file that you'll have to unzip to use. So that's it.
That is awesome. Well, we definitely want to leave a little bit of time for questions, or if there's anything else that you would like Mailena to explore on Canva. So again, we want to encourage you, if you want to just ask your question, you're welcome to unmute, or you can put it in the chat. But we would love to see a little bit, any of your questions. Mailena, somebody said they can't wait for part 2. Do you want to give us a little bit of a preview? And somebody's asking if you pay for Pro, if you choose to do Pro.
I did pay for Pro because I felt like it was worth the investment. It doesn't cost a ton. But you can pay a monthly subscription, which I think is like, I don't remember what
about
it is.
$10. I did post in the chat what the pricing is, and you can do $10 or $119 a year.
$119 a year is what I did, and so I pay for a Pro annual account because I think it does discount the monthly a little bit when you do that. Which, yes, I did. And some of the cool things there are some efficiencies that you gain from getting the Pro account. And in 102, I will probably work within my Pro account to show you some of those things. One of the things that's really cool about Pro that saves you so much time is, let's say I want to use this graphic, but I want it for an Instagram story, but I don't want to recreate it in the Instagram story template. I just want it to resize it. And I'm not logged into my Pro account, but this resizer right here with the Pro allows you to do that. See, they kind of give you a little preview of how it would work. So it would just automatically do it for you. You would have to probably move some stuff around, but there's no copying and pasting or anything like that. You don't have to work in two windows. So that was the main reason why I bought it, because I needed that functionality. The other reason why I bought it too was that brand kit. That brand kit was really important for me to have my logos and my colors and my fonts for Big Box Karaoke. So,
and they're preloaded and they're just kind of there and really accessible. You don't have to cut and paste the color every single time and things like that. Efficiency, time saving, that's great. I'd love to hear from anybody as to what it is that they feel like they need in 102. I know that we'd already talked a little bit about videos and ebooks and some other things, but if you want to post that in the chat, that would be great. Can you give us a little sneak peek into 102, what you're thinking for that?
Yeah, I think that I'm just going to spend more time in Canva. So we'll start off with some just best practices for social media graphics and email graphics, things like that. But then we'll spend most of the time in Canva. We've already done the tour with this one, so we don't need to do a tour again. But yeah, if you guys have any things that you want to spend time on, that'd be awesome. I'll be working with some of the center's design team, which is only one person, who gets to work with some clients on some brand and design and social graphics. But we want to get to a point where we're sharing templates that are within your branding, so you can easily edit them. And so that'll save you time. So we're going to show you that. So I will definitely include video and then animated graphics. So video and animated graphics are two different things, but movement in graphics is important. And so I'll spend time on that. I'll do maybe some Instagram stories. So if there's like different platforms that you guys are on where you want me to sort of touch on 102, then let me know.
Okay, fantastic. Well, and I think that one of the things they're asking about in Canva 102 is building the page 2. An example is that they didn't need all the elements of the first page. So I think it's kind of like cover page and then a second one. And I know that there are probably some templates that have kind of mix it up a little bit on the second page, so you have a little bit more space on those. And saying that they didn't want to start from blank, that it would seem time consuming. So kind of almost building a document, and I know that they do have brochures and some other things that are in there. And somebody else is really looking at maximizing Pro. So it kind of looking at some of those Pro elements would be really helpful as well, just in case people want to do that. And then somebody else's part 2 request is design no-nos. I like that one. Things not to do in design. I would say, Mailena, one of the things I was just thinking is that everything looked so effortless and easy. And one of the things we did with Nikki Toth in photography was just kind of like brand, how to align photography with your brand. And I would imagine that there's a little bit of that as well. I'm just going to remind everybody that Nikki's photography 101 and 102 and talking about brand is available in that link that we sent, and we will continue and we'll send again in our videos. So we have a lot of resources there as well that we can refer to also. Any thoughts on that, Mailena?
No, I think that all sounds good. I have taken notes and I'll start on my next presentation.
That's great. Anything else from anyone? Well, I saw that Rebecca joined us. You just mentioned Rebecca. I don't know if you want to say hi, Rebecca. We just mentioned that you were going to be in next. Hi, there she is.
Hello.
You're going to be next time in 102, and we're really excited for that to happen. So you've gotten some great feedback here, great foundation. We just want to thank everybody again for being here. We want to remind you that as an attendee of the conversation, you're going to be emailed a copy of this presentation. You also are going to be able to find the recording at the website, and we'll also send you a brief survey that's going to help us continue to serve you. We really would love to have you as a client, and you can also find our future workshops and events at the website, as well as a toolbox. You want to let everybody else know how else to find us, Chris?
Absolutely. Like we've been posting, you guys, you can find all of our information at sbtdc.uark.edu, and also use the QR code that's right there on your screen. And like Amy said before, and we've been posting in the chat, we would love to have you all as a client too. So make sure that you visit us at that site. We also are on all the regulars, the Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We've got a lot of information that we put out on there too. So make sure to check us out there. But we are so excited for Canva 102. I am. I learned quite a bit, Mailena, and I really appreciate everything you taught us today.
And everybody go follow Big Box Karaoke and see if any of those graphics she did today show up on social media.
Because she was working. This is work for her too.
No, she got work out of the way while she was here. Hey,
Yeah.
thank you all very much for being here. We'll see you next time.
Bye.